Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking you somewhere truly special, Kerala, often called God's own country. But we're looking at it through a pretty surprising lens. Imagine this. The air is just electric, right? Dazzling lights everywhere, bouncing off these incredible, vibrant traditional outfits. There's pulsating music filling this luxury venue, and the whole vibe is just pure celebration, pure festivity. It looks exactly like a grand Indian wedding. Feels like one too. But here's the twist. Nobody's actually getting married.
And that right there, that's where we jump in and we're diving into this phenomenon people are calling the fake wedding craze. It's really sweeping through cities like Thiruvananthapuram and Kochi. It's kind of redefining how people celebrate, blending tradition with this really modern flair in Kerala. It's fascinating.
It totally is. So for you listening today, we're going to unpack this. What are these fake weddings, really? Why are they grabbing the attention of Kerala's youth so much? How do they even pull off these incredibly detailed, authentic feeling parties? And, what are the wider implications? Culturally, economically, we're digging into this whole blend of old and new. Okay, so let's start basic. When we say fake wedding, what are we actually talking about? It's not a legal ceremony, obviously. It's more like a meticulously crafted event, designed purely to capture the vibe, the spectacle, the joy of a traditional Indian wedding.
Exactly. Think about all the best parts, like the energy of a Sangeet, the pre-wedding music and dance night, or the beats of a Bharat, that groom's procession. You get all of that vibrant chaos, but crucially, there's no actual bride, no groom, no vows being exchanged.
So it's just the fun part, like pure, unadulterated celebration.
Pretty much. It's a chance to dive into that festive atmosphere without any of the commitments, the family stuff, or the kind of emotional weight that comes with a real wedding.
Right. Makes sense.
And what's really interesting is this isn't totally brand new. The idea actually gained steam in other big Indian cities, first Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, places like that. And now it's found this really receptive audience in Kerala.
So how do they come to life? It's not just random parties, right?
So definitely not. These are usually put together by professional event management companies, often working with hotels. They basically transform venues into these, wedding wonderlands. We're talking amazing floral decorations, live dole players bringing that energy, Bollywood music, those essential Instagram-ready photo booths.
Ah, the photo booths. Can't forget those.
Never. And the key is accessibility. You pay an entry fee, maybe around $500 to $1,500, something like that. And for that, you just get to immerse yourself in a night of dancing, food, celebration, without any of the pressure or the formalities of attending a real wedding.
Okay, so it started elsewhere, but how did it really land in Kerala? Was there a specific event that kicked it off?
There was. Kerala had its first big ticketed fake wedding just last year, actually, July 2025 in Kochi. It was quite a bold move by a company called Silver Lining Party. They've been in the nightlife scene for 16 years. Sarat Sadhananthan heads it up.
16 years, wow. So they know the scene. What was their thinking?
Well, Sarat saw these wedding-themed parties blowing up online in other cities. He felt, that Kerala's party scene was ready for something new, something that kind of mixed that traditional vibe people love with a more modern party energy. And he was right.
So tell us about that night in Kochi. What was it like?
Okay, so it was held at a pretty fancy star hotel, and it drew a big crowd. Over 400 people showed up. What's interesting is the mix. Mostly young professionals, 20s and 30s, but there were people up to 40 there too, so it wasn't just super young kids.
A broad appeal then within that urban group.
Definitely. And the whole thing was styled like a North Indian wedding, which itself is kind of a novelty in Kerala, adding another layer of experience. They even had a mock Bharat.
No way! How did they do that?
Get this. They built a model truck, put a DJ on top spinning tracks, and had that lead the procession. Super creative. So you had guests dancing to Bollywood hits, drinking Desai-style cocktails, taking pictures at these photo spots covered in marigolds and fairy lights. The whole 9 yards.
Sounds amazing. And the pricing. You mentioned a fee.
Yeah, they priced it quite cleverly. It was $1,000 for couples, $1,500 for single guys, and just $500 for single women. That strategy seemed to work, pulling in a really diverse crowd. Tech people, doctors, models, influencers. The whole spectrum of Kochi's young urban set.
It's clear these are a hit, but let's dig deeper into the why. What's the fundamental appeal here, especially for young Keralites?
Well, I think it taps into something universal, doesn't it? That love for a big celebration. And Indian weddings are just the pinnacle of that. The glamour, the community, the sheer joy.
Right. And in Kerala, weddings are often huge, multi-day things, super lavish.
Exactly. So this offers a way to experience the best bits. The fun, the dressing up, the dancing, but in a much more low-stakes way. Sarat Sedhanathan, the organizer, pointed this out. He said weddings in Kerala have become major style events. People spend a fortune on outfits.
Oh yeah, the lehengas and sherwanis.
Precisely. But then those gorgeous clothes often just sit in the cupboard afterwards. So these fake weddings give people another chance to wear them, to show them off.
That's actually a really smart point, giving the clothes another life.
It is. But beyond the fashion and the fun, I think there's something else going on too. It's almost like a subtle rebellion.
Rebellion, how so?
Think about real weddings. They come loaded with expectations, right? Family dynamics, sometimes complex rituals, huge costs.
Definitely, lots of pressure.
Fake weddings strip all that away. It's pure freedom, no navigating tricky relatives, no worrying about auspicious timings, none of that emotional weight. It's just a space to let loose, dance how you want, and yeah, get those great social media pics that look like you're at a wedding, but without the actual lifetime commitment bit.
That makes a lot of sense, especially for younger generations, Gen Z, millennials.
Absolutely. There was an event organizer from Ahmedabad, Nihira Sharma, who said exactly that. For the younger generation, it's about the experience. They want the glitz, the music, the food, all the memorable stuff, just without the, emotional or financial baggage.
And Kerala seems uniquely positioned for this, right? With its youth embracing global trends, but still loving those grand, traditional celebrations.
Perfectly positioned. It's that blend again.
And this isn't just a few isolated parties you mentioned earlier. This is becoming a real market.
Oh, absolutely. This is not just a passing fad. The numbers are pretty staggering, actually. Projections suggest the fake wedding party market in India could grow from around, say, USD 12.9 million this year, 2025, to potentially USD 175.8 million by 2032.
Wow, that's huge growth. What's driving that?
It's a mix of things. FOMO, fear of missing out, is massive, especially with how visual these events are on social media. They're also great places for singles to meet people, like big social mixers. And then there's just that ongoing aspirational appeal of a big Indian wedding.
And Kerala's playing a big part in this growth.
It definitely is. You see the momentum building in cities like Thiruvananthapuram and Kochi. And economically, it's quite clever. Think about the traditional wedding off-season, usually the monsoon months, May to August.
Yeah, things slow down then.
Right. But now, these fake weddings are happening right in that period. It gives hotels, caterers, decorators, entertainers a whole new, steady income stream when things would normally be quiet. It's a smart adaptation.
So given how big this is getting, the execution must be pretty intense. It sounds like planning these is almost like planning a real wedding.
In many ways, yes. The level of detail, the coordination, it's very similar, just without the actual marriage license. Event companies work really closely with the venues. They often blend North and South Indian wedding styles to make it feel authentic, but also maybe a bit different for the local crowd.
Like that Kochi event you described.
Exactly. They had the Mehendi station for henna. The dance floor was pumping with Bollywood and Punjabi music. The food mirrored a wedding feast, biryani, paneer tikka, cool mocktails.
They really try to nail the authenticity.
You have to. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Sarat mentioned for the Kochi party, besides the DJ truck for the barat, they hired a live dole team and even had choreographed dancers to welcome guests. It's about creating that immersive feeling.
And capturing it all for the gram, I assume.
Of course. Professional photographers and videographers are key. People want those high-quality photos and videos to share. It's part of the experience itself for many attendees.
Another interesting angle is inclusivity. Real weddings can be quite exclusive, family affairs.
That's a huge difference. These fake weddings are open to basically anyone who buys a ticket. So you get this really interesting mix, locals, expats, NRIs maybe visiting home, who want that wedding vibe without actually having to attend a family function.
And it's even spreading beyond India.
Yeah, it's popping up internationally too. Dubai, Frankfurt. There's one plan there called Band Baha Barat. No one's getting married, but everyone's invited. Even on U.S. college campuses, Indian student groups are hosting similar events. It's gone global.
Okay, it sounds incredibly popular, well executed. But surely there's pushback. Not everyone must love this idea.
No, you're right. There is another side to it.
Yeah.
Some people, especially maybe older generations or more traditional folks, feel it. Well, trivializes marriage. They see it as turning something culturally significant, even sacred, into just another commercial party.
I can see that perspective. There was a quote from a homemaker in Kochi, Priya Menon.
Yeah, she basically said it felt like a mockery of something meaningful.
For people who hold traditional views, celebrating a wedding without the central couple, it just feels a bit off, maybe frivolous.
Beyond the cultural critique, are there practical issues? Like, do the events always live up to the hype?
That's another challenge. Expectations are high, especially when you're paying an entry fee, sometimes up to 3,000. We heard from one attendee, Shrishti Sharma from Bengaluru, who went to one and felt a bit let down. She said the food wasn't great, the vibe wasn't quite like a real wedding.
Right, so delivering that authentic yet fun experience consistently is tough.
It is. And then there are the logistical hurdles. Organizing large events, especially with things like processions or maybe drone shows, involves getting permits. Kerala's tourism department apparently faced issues getting clearances for an Onam drone show recently. So navigating that bureaucracy can be complex. Plus, the weather, especially during monsoon season, is always a factor.
Makes sense. Lots to juggle. But despite the challenges, it sounds like this trend has legs. It really does. There's no sign of it slowing down. More events are being planned in Kerala. Thiruvananthapuram is apparently next in early 2026. And you have to imagine it'll spread beyond Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram to places like Kozhikode, Thrissur. The demand from young people for these kinds of novel experiences is definitely there.
And how are organizers keeping it fresh? You can't just do the same party over and over.
True. Innovation is key. We're seeing themed fake weddings pop up, Bollywood themes, fusion concepts, mixing Kerala styles with modern twists. Technology is playing a bigger role too. Things like AI-generated invites, maybe VR photo booths, ways to make the experience even more unique and shareable.
Like Joel John from Rainmaker Signature Experiences said.
Exactly, he said. The possibilities are endless. People want experiences that transport them, and these fake weddings are a perfect vehicle for that kind of escapism and fun. Even big platforms like Wedding Wire India are getting involved now, connecting planners with vendors, which helps streamline the whole process.
So, wrapping this up, where do we land? Is this just a flash in the pan for Kerala, or is it something more lasting?
It feels like more than just a trend. It taps into a real cultural moment. This blend of loving tradition but also wanting to break from it, embracing global ideas while staying rooted. It's about celebrating your way.
Yeah, celebrating on your own terms.
And the feedback from people who go seems overwhelmingly positive. Like that IT professional from Thiruvananthapuram on Jolly Nair.
Right, what did she say?
She basically said she had an amazing time at the Kochi event. It was like a friend's wedding. But crucially, without the stress, no gift buying, no awkward questions about her own marriage plans, she said she'd go again in a heartbeat.
That really sums up the appeal, doesn't it? All the joy, none of the
Huh?
obligations. And that leaves us, and you listening, with maybe a final thought to chew on. In a world that seems to crave connection and big celebrations more than ever, but also feels burdened by expectations and commitments, what does it really mean to carve out spaces for pure, unadulterated joy like this? And could we, maybe, apply this idea, extracting the joyous essence to other traditional events too? Something to think about. Until our next deep dive.